Welcome everyone to round number 2 of October 2nd's Star Wars Unlimited Locals Night over at the Valkyrie Vault in Brownsburg, Indiana. If you guys are looking to play some Star Wars Unlimited, there's no better place to check out than Valkyrie Vault in Brownsburg, Indiana. Thursday nights, 6 p.m., $5 entry, and you walk away with a pack of the current set as well as your promo pack. Well, in round 1, I was able to walk away with a win with a Quiet God Jinn Force Blue. A little bit of cheating went on in that win, but nonetheless, we did walk away with the win. And in round number 2, I got a couple of new ones for you. We got Cassian Red, which we already checked out as well, so you can go watch that one right now. Word of warning, that Cassian Red is based on the LOF meta and not on the new cards for the SEC meta. So you're looking for any decks for SEC, that one will not have any SEC cards that was recorded during the LOF meta, as well as the Revan Yellow that I actually lost to in round number 3. So this Revan Yellow was my defeat. So nonetheless, before we jump into game number 1, let's discuss what these two decks are going to do. Cassian Red, I already checked this one out. This one's a lot of fun. Cassian Andor states on his front side, pay 1, tap him. If you dealt 3 or more damage to your opponent's base, you get to draw 1 card. Flip him over for, I believe he flips for 5 or 6. Again, does the exact same thing, and then you only get it once per turn. When you damage your opponent's base with 3 or more damage, draw a card once per turn. So basically, you're just running straight aggro in this. It's just punch your opponent's base in with everybody that has 3 or more power, 3 or more attack points on them, so you could always constantly make sure you're getting that recursion of that draw. Mr. Bones, K2SO, Poe Dameron. You have aggression in here to restand guys. You have all the really good stuff in here of just being aggression heroic. And not mentioning now with the SEC meta, I think this deck can even play some newer cards like the Valiant Commandos that got released that are a 3/3/3 that stay on attack. Then if they attack your opponent's base, they can kill themselves to deal another 3 damage to your opponent's base. Not mentioning with this being a draw style deck, I really think that Aggressive Negotiations is a good card for this deck as well. So it's a lot of fun. It's not a good deck, but as for like a jank strategy that can have some real good fun, this one is definitely one to try out, especially in the SEC meta that got new aggression cards and a couple new aggression heroic. And then we have a good old Revan actually Patella Arena. I lied a little bit in round 1. I forgot this is Patella Arena and not Force Yellow. So there's no Force shenanigans being created here. But anyways, Revan states on his front side, when one of your units defeats one of your enemy units and survives, you can tap him to give that unit an experience token. Flips for 5. He has Restore 1, 3/6 on his backs. 3/6 on his backside, and then does the exact same thing again. If a unit kills one of your opponent's units in battle and survives, give it an experience token. The Patera Arena states on it that all your leaders get a +1 to their defense. So basically, Revan is now a 3/7 on his backside, which is really nice. It gives him a little more stability. So all you're doing here is you're just playing all the good villainy yellow. That's what you're doing. You're playing yellow villainy, everybody. So you got Surprise Strikes, you got Waylays, you got Shinhatis, you got all of those cards in the strategy here as well. So basically that's what you're doing, because you're restricted to basically yellow and villainy. So why not play all the good yellow villainy in the strategy? But nonetheless, let's see what we have here today. And like I said, I went undefeated, so did the Revan Arena as Patera Arena as well. So we already have been spoiled to who will win it all, but it should still be some fun to see if Cassian Andor can get even close to beating out Revan Patera Arena. Let us move into game number 1. Here we go, everybody. We're going to start off with a Revan, going to start off showing off with the Bazine, and we're going to get rid of the A-Wing there, showing a pretty good amount, but then again, that seeing that miss up with the 2-drop is really harsh for Cassian, because it definitely needs to needs to be able to start going off here, so having an A-Wing up first is a really strong thing, especially because we did also see the fleet guy there, the Rebel that can immediately allow you to attack and get a +2 to your attack. So anyways, we're going to just go for the Gorillas. Gorillas to do 2 indirect damage. Again, just a really nice yellow card, especially when your opponent has no units on the base. No units, so meaning all of that damage is to go to the base here. As we see, Revan Yellow is really getting off the board here. As we have the K2SO, we're immediately going to go for the Forlom to kill K2SO. K2SO's ability to either deal 3 damage to the base or deal have my opponent pitch 1 card. I guess they totally forgot to trigger K2SO's effect here. Okay, so they are catching it right now, what they want to do. So it looks like they are going to either, remember, K2SO on death either discards 1 card from my opponent's hand or deals 3 damage to their base. So it looks like we're going to have the discard here. We're going to go for the discard of a Whaley here. Then we're going to go 2 damage on the base here with the Gorillas, and then we're going to have another initiative claimed by the Cassian Andor. Again, the problem with Cassian is that he needs to have his base presence active, meaning he needs bodies. He needs to have bodies up and running onto the board. Otherwise, if he starts losing out his bodies, he struggles. Basically, if you want to get that draw, you need to have a body present. And again, that Bazine on turn 1 really did hurt because that was their only turn 1 play for this phase. So that would have been really nice because then you could have gone fleet off of that. So anyways, we're going to see red 3. Again, giving all raid 1 to all your heroic stuff is really good here. We're going to go for that. We're going to go for the good old house cast soldier. We're going to go for the doctor here. Again, the doctor does have the bounty that when he is killed off of the board, you can your opponent can ready up to 12 resources. We're going to go for good old Revan hitting the base, and again, he's going to be able to give himself the experience token, take 2, and his lightsaber gives him grit as well. So he's just a whole lot bigger. And again, as a reminder, he's getting an additional +1 HP because of that arena being up on the board, which is really cool. But again, the arena is only 26 health. So you have to be cautious of that. We see the disabling Fangfighter coming down to rock off the to knock out Revan's lightsaber, but then we're just going to immediately be able to ignore that because we have a constructed lightsaber, which gives us rated 2 on the attack there as well. So that is pretty interesting. So anyways, we're going to be able to swing for off the Fleet Lieutenant, targeting the red 3, giving it +2 to its attack, hitting for 5 damage because of the raid 1 here. So anyways, we're going to swing a whole bunch of damage from that Revan there, because not only is it's going to get +3, +2, and then a raid 2 there as well. So anyways, we're going to kill off the Fleet Lieutenant, knocking out the Doctor, and the Doctor is going to get an additional XP there. We're immediately going to remove the Gorilla Soldiers there to knock out for 1 there. And again, remember, Cassian can only draw when he deals when someone deals damage to the enemy base. So again, that is a little harsh on him. But again, I do think this leader will be really fun to play in the SEC meta because he has some new toys to play with thanks to all the cards from SEC. As we're going to go for a Surprise Strike, and this is pretty much going to start being wrapped up here as we have now an additional +3 on this guy here. So Revan's already swinging for 5. And then, as you can see here, as we scoop up, Revan already swings for 5, naturally, +2 for the raid, swinging for 7, +1 more for the experience, then makes him up to 9. So yeah, he's 4, 6, 8, 9. Yeah. So 4 because of the experience, +2 is 6, plus raid is 8, +1 more. No. Then that puts him up to, okay. He's naturally 4 because of the +1. +2 is a 6. I could do math. I could do basic math. 6 plus another raid 2 is 8. Then +3 is then that's 11 damage there. We had 20. I think that was well over like 20. That was 15 plus 3 more was 18. So that would have been death right there because that was 29. That was well over death right there. So it looked like we just had an immediate death and an immediate pure almost scoop up here, as yes, we do basically scooped it up. There's basically nothing our Cassian player could do. That was Revan basically went for the game right there and there. So Cassian has scooped up game number 1, or basically has lost actually game number 1. Did scoop up game number 1. Game 1 actually went to Revan. So anyways, Revan Arena takes game number 1. It's time to move into game number 2. Here we go, folks, for game number 2. Let's see what we got. Anyways, we're going to go for the good old Doctor again. Remember, as a reminder, as we see, our opponent has also put down an A-Wing as well. Sorry, I must have accidentally activated in the wrong portion of the video. But anyways, we do have an A-Wing in the sky. We're going to go for the red 3. That's really nice, giving the A-Wing that ray, giving that A-Wing ray the 3 on. As we see the Gorillas coming down as well. So we can, of course, give all the damage between our units. So the red 3 is going to take 2 of that indirect, and then the A-Wing is going to get 1 of that indirect here. Again, there's no way for the Cassian to burn his effect here. Again, Cassian Andor being a pay 1, tap him to draw 1 is not a great thing you want to see, because you definitely can't do much on your turn 3 play, especially because you won't have a way to play out anything like that. But nonetheless, I mean, it's still nice. But again, it is a Spark Rebellion leader as well. So I mean, he is old as well. He's a little different than what his new Cassian Andor from SEC is, which I think is a lot of fun. So anyways, we're gonna go for us open fire on the guerrillas, just knocking that out. Again, if you'd done that onto the Doctor, Dr. Evans, it wouldn't have mattered anyway, because technically the shield would have absorbed the hit there, as we see Aura Sing, and then we're going to swing again with the red 3 as well. So again, this is really good right now. So the space is in the favor of the Cassian players. They do have one more there to pay, and then we're going to go for the Ray. Ooh, a really good thing to do in this deck. I totally forgot about the Ray. So when Ray is drawn, your opponent, you can deal damage to a unit onto the board. So anyways, that's really cool. So he only when drawn, so it can't be drawn like for your card for the turn. It has to be drawn via an effect. So that's what's really good also about Cassian, is you do have access to that Ray combo line. Now again, more or less, if you wanted that more secured, the Yoda from Twilight of the Republic can do that a little more securely than, say, Cassian, because Cassian has to gamble on you drawing it, since Cassian doesn't have the ability to put the top card from a hand from the top of your deck, like, say, the Yoda does. That Yoda Force Red was playing back in the day. So anyways, we're going to figure out what we want to do here. We do have the TIE Bomber to deal 3 indirect damage to an opponent's base. Again, we also have Revan is capable of flipping this turn at well, which is pretty nasty, because again, Cassian has to flip on a 6. So anyways, we're going to figure out what we want to do here. Again, the space is right now in the securement of the Cassian player rather than the Revan player. And again, Revan only has 26 health on that base. It's not a beefy base. We're going to go for open fire, immediately killing off the Aura Sing there, so we don't have to worry about the Aura Sing. We're going to immediately be able to swing the A-Wing and deal another 4 damage there, because again, remember, the A-Wing has that damage point. We're going to be able to restore 1, pay 1 for Cassian to draw 1, and then we're going to be able to pass away over to our opponent, and then they're going to go for, ooh, the Malak. Oh, Cassian flips for 5. I thought, I'm about to say, no, Cassian flips for 6 there, sir. I remember that Cassian is a late leader to flip. Again, Spark leaders mostly flipped around 6. There was only a few that actually flipped for 5, like Leia flipped for 5, but most flipped for 6. So anyways, Cassian will be able to flip this turn, which is pretty nice. Again, it looks pretty bad right now. I would say, like, if I was saying, like, who's going to win all out of game number 2, yeah, the Cassian player had the momentum in space, and they still have the momentum in space. But the problem is right now the momentum in the ground is getting a little out of hand for the Revan players. Again, now they have both Malak and Revan, and as well as the Doctor, so there's a lot of bodies. So anyways, we're going to swing out for that of getting 4 damage on the base, healing back the 1 there. That restore 1 is getting pretty potent here as we swing for another damage from red 5. But one thing you can easily do is, if your opponent doesn't have a way to kill you here, you do have the ability to flip Cassian, and you have the ability to kill instantaneously here. Again, the problem that they have is that you can swing for the 3 there. That puts up the 4. Again, the Malak can't kill you because it has to be a surprise strike to do it. Malak can't kill Cassian here, and then Cassian just swings for the game. Yep, that will immediately do it, and Cassian Andor will be able to take game number 2, thanks to this space arena, and Revan Yell not really having much of the way to deal with that space arena. A TIE Bomber is in no way to deal with the space arena. I would have thought maybe they would have wanted to swing with the TIE Bomber here first to try to force out that 3 indirect damage to our opponent to kind of figure out where they want to go. I think that would have maybe pushed it up a luck to maybe go for the win, but I think nonetheless, I think it would have ended, because then that would have just caused Red 3 to actually attack the base instead of attack the TIE Bomber, which pushed Red's 3 damage onto the base. So nonetheless, we'll have to kind of see as we move into that all-important game number 3 and see how close Cassian Andor can get to beat out Revan Petranaki Arena. Once again, reminder, Revan Petranaki Arena was my final round opponent, so they do win game 3, but let's see how close they were to winning it. Here we go, folks, for that all-important game number 3. Both our sides are deciding on their resourcing. As we're going to go for our Dr. Evans again, and then we're going to go for the good old A-Wings. We're already starting out really well here. The Cassian side has already begun the really good play here of already setting up the A-Wing, which protects you against the Guerrilla Soldiers as well. The problem you have with the Guerrilla Soldiers, that an easy play of Guerrillas means that 1 damage will have to hit your base here, because there's not much you can do. As we see the Aura Sing coming on down to the board here. Again, the A-Wing can swing for 3 damage here, immediately allowing you to have that Cassian effect to draw that 1 card here. So we're going to go for the A-Wing to hit the base with the Cassian. Hit the base for that 3, allowing us to give the Cassian Andor effect. Then we're going to have the Dr. Evans or Evazol or whatever it is. So anyway, we're going to pay 1 to get draw. So we don't really have anything else to really play unless we get another 2 So it looks like Revan just took the thing, and we're going to go put down a Wolf, a really nice, again, most of the cards you're going to play in this deck are 3 hitting bodies. So that's mostly what you're going to do. You're going to play 3 hitting bodies and then basically go crazy from there. As we have the Wolf coming down. Again, Wolf blocks any healing from any one of the bases. We're going to just go for a shoot first, allowing you to hit first. And we're going to have the Revan give an experience token to the Doctor. We're going to have the Fleet Lieutenant come down and swing, giving the A-Wing +2. And we're going to have the Arsing kill off the Fleet Lieutenant. That actually should be 1 more damage. There we go. Cassian Andor to draw 1 card because, again, 3 or more damage points was pushed onto our opponent's base here. Now, again, Revan is capable of awakening this turn as well. So that is something to watch out for. The Wolf would have been nice because it would have stopped the Revan, would have run the bodies, would have had to swing at it to kill off the Wolf there. Anyways, we're going to go for the Dr. Evans onto the base here to swing again for another 3 here as well. So a really interesting play right now. Yeah, that Dr. Evans is something interesting, right? His bounty is pretty nice because you do get to, again, your opponent does get to take 12, get to restand 12 resources. So it's really nice because it does push your opponent to think whether or not they want to actually kill that guy and allow him and give them the bounty of restanding up to 12 resources. Again, it does come in shielded, so that is one potential of the thing that there is a shield there. We're going to go for the Fang Fighter to remove the shield token off of that. We're going to go for the Revan here. We did see a constructed lightsaber on the Revan side of the board. We're going to go for another A-Wing. There is a constructed lightsaber. That is going to be pretty painful there. And we're going to go, for the Revan's lightsaber as well. Someone get out the bamboozles. Someone get out the bamboozles. We see 10 damage. Yeah, no, this game has just been wrapped up very fast. Revan having both his lightsaber and the constructed lightsaber is nasty because there's not much of a way for you to get out of this at any potentiality. There's just nothing you could do. I mean, you could bamboozle, but bamboozle returns the stuff back to your hand, so there's not much else you can really do. So there's really no point for you to even bamboozle the lightsabers besides resting Revan. But nonetheless, that is nasty. Not much you can really do about that. The Revan kills you on nearly one shot because it's 3. We're just gonna go for open fire. That is. Oh, right, yes, because the shield is gone, so we're just going to restand Doctor, and there's another constructed lightsaber. I'm pretty sure that's more than enough to knock out everything here, because then, yep, surprise strike, and then we're just going to count it up again. The constructed lightsabers are technically giving raid 4 to Revan here, so that is just going to be an immediate murder off of the battlefield there with Revan yellow. So, unfortunately, Cassian Andor just couldn't put on the pressure for our Revan against our Revan player. But again, it doesn't help when your Revan player sees Revan's lightsaber as well as 2 constructed lightsabers and buffs Revan up into infinity and beyond, giving him 2, 4, 6 plus 6 plus his 3, so he's already 9. And then you give him raid 4s, which gives you again that puts you up to 13 damage. Yeah, no, that's that is painful to see all that damage again. There are things that get rid of that. They do have Kit Fists, so Ether Sprite, if you really wanted to use that. You do have the Constables now. You did have Fang Fighters, but again, the only way to get rid of all of that would have been like Power Failure and Kit Fist, those Ether Sprite. It was the only way to get rid of all of those lightsabers off of Revan, just to try to survive a little longer. But even then, Revan is hitting for 3, or Sing's hitting for 3. There's not really much you could do, so you would be outpaced easily by the ground presence. Even if Cassian flips, you'd have to swing Cassian into someone, because by then you would have taken up to 6 damage, putting you up to 26. You could only survive literally one turn of either one of those swinging, so you'd have to have sacrificed Cassian into your opponent's base. But nonetheless, it was a really interesting game. I'm glad we got some Cassian Andor action once again. That has pinged in YouTube a while back. If you guys are interested to see a Cassian Andor red build, or Cassian Spark red, because I have to call it Spark now because we do now have Cassian Andor from SEC. But nonetheless, let me know your thoughts, guys, down in the comments on the Revan Petranaki Arena and the Cassian Spark red. What are your thoughts of these 2 leaders going into the SEC meta? I personally think Revan actually is pretty good with blue right now, thanks to Dark Scion coming into the format, thanks to Emergency Powers coming into the format, and Nihilus, I think, is just a really strong card for Revan altogether. And I do think Cassian Andor is a pretty fun leader in this set because you have aggression negotiations, you have Valiant Commandos, and again, even doing aggression on Valiant Commandos is something you could do, because I think you could restand something with 3 or less power on it. That means you could swing for 3, restand it, swing for another 3, or use aggressive negotiations and then on it to swing more, and then be able to pop it on that second attack, which is pretty nice overall. But Nonetheless, let me know all your thoughts on the gameplay, guys, down in the comments. And while you're commenting, do make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you can notify when my videos go live for you. And we'll see you here next time on Modern Dragons TCG.